Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Football Brehz, a platform where we discuss, debate, and banter. My name is DOS, and I'll be your host for today's show. Back with us on the show, we have Spurs fan Ben, we have Liverpool fan Jules, and back with us, we have Wolves fan Semp as well. Welcome, guys. Welcome, guys.
Man,
What's
like
going
Semp in the
on?
Exactly. No
building.
beard,
Sam
no
is back.
nothing. Looking fresh, looking clean. So,
Clean.
just like his team right now, I must say. But anyway, we're going to get to that in a minute. But first of all, so good that football hasn't been cancelled so far. I mean, of course, we care about people's health and the players' health and everything. But I hope we can get through this festive period with football because it really does a lot for us in our homes right now. Before we get into the details, though, guys, if you're watching, make sure you subscribe, make sure you like, you follow all of our social media platforms so you can keep updated with the show. So now let's get to it. The games that are coming up on Boxing Day. First of all, enjoy yourselves with Christmas, eat as much as you can. Once we get to Boxing Day, hopefully, fingers crossed, our beloved football will entertain us. First game we're going to discuss Liverpool versus Leeds. Big game. I say big game, but I mean Leeds, to be honest, haven't been good this
Yeah,
season.
they've been sliding.
They've been getting killed left, right, and center.
Mhm.
Coming at 7-0, I think it was against City, and then they got battered in the last game. So Liverpool, they're not going to really be happy facing Liverpool because Liverpool, on the other hand, right now, they're I would say Liverpool and City right now are just in a league of their own, blowing teams away and playing great football at the time.
And letting
What
Harry
do
Are
you,
Kane
they
score.
though? Are
But
they though?
see, here we go. See,
Are they
he's there.
though?
you don't
He's
think
in his
Are
Liverpool
job.
are
they?
playing well? You don't think? Okay, let's just
They
open up.
were playing well until
Here
Spurs
we
came in.
go. Here we go.
Yeah, but
Spurs
Spurs
game.
should have had 10 men, Ben.
Exactly.
Exactly.
What?
Spurs should have had 10
What?
Exactly.
men.
What? How? Well, okay. Are we
Why are
going
you
to talk about the
covering?
handball? Are we going to talk about Salah's handball? Huh? Okay,
Come
cool.
on.
All right,
You should have had a
let's
red
carry on.
card. Let's be
Harry
real.
Kane should
Anyway,
have been
let's
sent off,
see.
and you know it.
Let, yeah, exactly. Let's open it.
Listen,
Let's go on. What was you going to say?
no, I was gonna say no. I'm not denying Kane should have been sent off, but at the same time, there's loads of other decisions that should have gone our way that didn't. At the end of the day, I think it was even in the end. It was 2-2 on bad decisions. So that's what it is.
I must say, Tottenham did
Fair.
play better than usual. I was surprised, but that
Mm.
might have been a one-off. We'll see. For Liverpool and Leeds. How do you guys think this game is going to shape up? Do you think Leeds will be able to shore their defense up in time for this game? Just because Liverpool right now, with Salah rested as well in the cup game, he's going to be fresh coming into this game. Considering there's going to be no COVID situations, both teams are like how you see it right now. What do you guys think? I'm going to bring this over to Jules first, since you're a Liverpool fan. How do you think
Yeah.
this will shape up?
I think it's gonna look good. I think with Hendo back, we're gonna have some more reassured defense in our midfield. So I'm hoping that we have a better performance than the 2-2 show in against Spurs. I don't even think we played so bad in that game. I think they obviously capitalized on a few chances which we gave mistakes away, and with Robert being sent off, then it wasn't so much like our game anymore.
Mhm.
But I
But
give
we
it.
were
I'll give,
creating chances before
yeah,
that, bro.
you see, you always cut me off when I'm about to say something good, innit?
Sorry. Carry on.
I was gonna say I give it to Spurs because they turned up. They looked way better than what I expected them to show. Normally we drop Spurs, and I'm always the first one in the group. You don't know this. I'm the first one in the group to say, Spurs, easy 3 points. It's in the bag. I'm chatting rubbish. This time I didn't even say nothing. I had to say, you know what, Spurs might come, and fair enough. They got the draw. I'll give them that. When we played them at White Hart Lane, who knows? But yeah, I'll give them that game, innit? That's it. I think personally, we're still a bit shaky, and then obviously with COVID now, it's definitely going to impact our performance going forward because we're having some players miss out. We had Thiago miss out. Hendo didn't have COVID, but he was ill. He's just coming back in now. Everyone's kind of going to do this swapping and changing, not just for us, but for all the clubs going forward. So I can't sit there and go, oh yeah, this game's going to be easy 3 points. I think it's going to be a shaky time right now. So if we get 3 points, I'm happy. If we keep the form going with our attack, then yeah, it's going to be great. Defensive wise, it's not really, there right now, but it's all good. I still think, yeah, going forward, the Leeds, easy 3 points.
Do you agree with him, Sam? Sam, do you agree with him? Because he's talking about COVID situation and how it could affect them, but it also is affecting Leeds too. It's not just Liverpool.
There's a statistic out there. I don't know the exact statistic, but I know that Leeds are actually breaking records in terms of the most first team players injured at the moment. Taking COVID out, so ignoring COVID, they are actually at this stage in the season they've broken a record as to the most first team players actually physically injured. I think this is even though it's against Liverpool, I think it's a big game for Bielsa because I don't think he can survive another drumming, which I think I think it's coming.
Can I say something on that? Sorry, I think it's obviously easy to say sack Bielsa, but in this case, I don't think there's anyone that can come in and fix Leeds per se.
There isn't. Bielsa was the man that fixed it, and I think he's the man to take them forward. However, football is a results game, as we know. It's a results game. And I don't think, you're coming off the back of losing 7-0 to City. And did it finish 4-0 against Arsenal?
Yeah.
4-1.
4-1.
I think it was. Yeah.
So they've considered, that's a -10 in 2 games, goal difference. And then you're going against Liverpool. I'm sorry, but I think it's going to be a whitewash. I think it's going to be 5-0 Liverpool.
The key thing with Bielsa is he needs to change his tactics. This whole man marking thing, he needs to realize it doesn't work with certain teams, and it's definitely not going to work against Liverpool.
I agree that I think that's the biggest issue with Leeds. Is they just have one way to play, and if they come across teams that work that out, they get destroyed. And I think that's Bielsa's negative aspect to his managing is he can't adapt. He just cannot adapt. You're losing 7-0, 4-0.
Nuno's problem.
Exactly. Nuno exactly was the same. And you guys are benefiting off that now. If you think about it, you made the change, and now finally Wolves are benefiting off that. Whereas Leeds will probably we'll get to Wolves. Leeds are looking around at everything else that's happening around them, and they're probably thinking, do we make that change with the manager? Do we not? But like you said, Semp, if he has another drubbing, it might be difficult for them to keep him.
I don't think he can survive it.
No,
I genuinely don't think he can survive.
It's going to be a crazy game. Leeds are going to have the game of their lives in order to not even, get a drubbing, let alone, get a point or anything at the game. So
to be honest, I think if they stop Salah's going to come into it. He's going to be fresh. He's not playing in the cup game. If they stop him, and using Wolves as an example, we showed what it means to stop Mo Salah.
Yeah.
Ait Nouri had the game of his life against Mo Salah. He had him in his pocket for 93 minutes. Come off injured with a hamstring. We replace him with another youngster who came from Liverpool actually in Hoover. And Hoover was at fault for the goal. It was an incredible touch, but still he was at fault. So you stop Mo Salah, you stop Liverpool's attacking for me. So that has to be Leeds' game plan.
Nonetheless, great fullback, Hoover. Great fullback.
He's got potential.
Okay, well, we're talking about Hoover, talking about Wolves. Let's go to Wolves because first of all, I just want to know, how do you feel as a Wolves fan right now? How does it feel to be a Wolves fan right now? Because I see different reactions from Wolves fans. How are you feeling?
Disappointing, to say the least. I'm going into games and I'm just I'm thinking to myself, how are we going to score? Where are the goals coming from? For me as a Wolves fan, and it's an unpopular opinion, but I hold no pressure on Jimenez. Yes, he's a focal striker. Yes, he should be scoring goals. However, the guy is lucky to be playing football. The guy is lucky to be doing anything. If you guys, I don't know if you guys have seen it, but if anyone has seen that Red documentary on YouTube that's available,
I haven't seen that.
Absolutely, it's absolutely incredible to see what that guy has gone through, and the fact that he's actually, just doing things normally, let alone playing football in the Premier League, is a blessing for me. So I hold him. He has no pressure for me. He's got a pass, regardless. So whether he scores 15, 20 goals across however many seasons, or if he scores 1, it makes no difference for me. He's my striker, and that's it. He gets my backing. The problem for me is where's if Jimenez, because we're reliant on Jimenez, and I see so many Wolves fans in various Twitter and whatnot, and they're like slandering him and stuff like that, and it really winds me up. But we've got other players. Adama Traore is the most frustrating footballer on this planet. The guy could be world class. He could be world class.
Yeah.
The problem is he has the Theo Walcott syndrome. Is he can't finish. He can't finish and he can't pass. It's that simple.
Or does he just need the right manager?
No, he doesn't need the right manager,
No,
Ben, though, because he's had managers. He was under Barcelona. He's been under so many different managers, and not one manager has been able to get the best out of him.
I think it's also more than just finishing, though. I think it's also his football brain.
It's decision making.
Decision making, yeah.
Exactly that. I think he needs to work on that. Otherwise, it will never improve. Of course, the finishing is... But for me, you're right. Jimenez, for example, I think he's done phenomenally well considering what he's come back from, because he's still scoring goals for you guys.
Yeah, he is.
I think you're missing the creativity behind him. I think you're missing Neto hugely.
Neto is massive. Like, Neto was massive. When he did his ACL, I was like, you know, I mean, in one breath, I was kind of not grateful, but I was like, well, this takes him out the shop window, because teams were looking at him. He was the second in goal contributions last season in Europe. Jadon Sancho was the height. Jadon Sancho was one above him. He was second. You know, that's nuts. Considering he's a Wolves player, that's nuts. You know, and his age is ridiculous. But the problem is we don't have any options. You know, we're reliant on a 38-year-old midfielder in Moutinho. You know, Neves isn't played in the right position for me. He's not played in the right position. He's not played in the right setup. He needs to go to somewhere like United to excel. He needs to, because he's not being played in the right position for us. You know, in our system anyway. And Leander Dendonker's a potential. You know, he's in the Belgium national team. He has potential. But again, we have no creative spark. You know, I really wanted that Renato Sanchez deal to go through, but it would have been, you know, and yes, he would have been out for a month, but if he comes back after the month, do you know what I mean? He could have solved our midfield issues.
But you have Podence back now, right?
But again, Podence is very frustrating. He does, like last season, that game against Chelsea, the guy ripped Chelsea apart. Like he absolutely ripped Chelsea apart. But he does that 1 in 10 games.
I said this.
1 in 10 games. Do you know what I mean? And we need players that are tried and tested. It's all well and good going and get these talented, you know, international players from other countries, but we need tried and tested Premier League players. Why aren't we in for the likes of Danny Ings? Villa, for me, you've got a proven 10, 15 goal scorer in Danny Ings. Why are we not going for those players? Callum Wilson. Do you know what I mean? Like, why are we not going for these Premier League proven players? And that falls on recruitment. And I've said several times, our recruitment philosophy is just wrong. It's wrong. Like, you know, you go and spend 35 million on Fabio Silva, who, yes, he may have potentially in 4, 5, 6 years' time, but we need someone now.
Yeah.
We need someone right now. You know, selling Jota was a huge kick in the teeth, but you couldn't turn that money down. And look at what he's doing for Liverpool. You know, I'm really gutted about Doherty and how his career has stagnated at Spurs, because for us he was phenomenal. Absolutely,
you can have him back, bro.
I would have him back in a heartbeat. So Nelson Semedo, get the hell out of my club, by the way. Nelson Semedo, get the hell out of my club. Go back to Barcelona or whatever. He's awful. He's an awful footballer. And it shows that you can play in Barcelona. You can play and you can coast without being scrutinised, because you are at Barcelona. You've got Messi. You've got, you know, Neymar at the time, Suarez, etc. You've got players that will just carry you. No one's scrutinising you. You're coming into the Premier League and you're playing for a team like Wolves, where you have to defend, and he cannot defend. He cannot defend. It's as simple as that.
Well, you're coming up against Watford. Watford have been playing well, I would say. Recently, they've been attacked. Well, it's more they're attacking. They're creating chances. They're scoring goals. In Dennis and King, they have two really prolific goal scorers. I mean, are you worried like that you could?
I'm worried if we go a goal down, we're not coming back into the game because we don't have it in us to come back into the game. I firmly believe that it'll either be a draw, a 1-0 win to Wolves, or we'll lose 2, maybe 3-0.
But Shane makes a good point here. He says Wolves are the type of team that you can never take for granted because you could be on a great run, then Wolves turn up and surprise you, which is true.
But we only turn up against the big teams. We only turn up against the big 6. Like we turned up and we should have got points at United. We should have took all 3 points at the start of the season against United. Yep. We were the better team. We should have took all 3 points and we lost because Mason Greenwood is a fucking genius and he's just ridiculous. Yeah. No one can tell me different. He's the best Mason in the league.
Well, some people.
Best Mason in the league.
He's the best Mason in the league. Sorry, Kadus, but he is.
How about Kadus though? I think Mount's better, but anyways,
shots fired.
No, it's not shots. It's just my opinion. So, but anyway, we should have got points off United. We should have took at least a point off City. We should have took points off Liverpool.
Should have got points at Spurs.
You got points off us.
Spurs.
We drew
should have took
didn't
points. No. We lost 1-0, 94th minute.
Yeah.
Origi.
It's really it's true. It's true. I mean, that's what I'm saying. You guys are off the brink.
We turn up against the big teams, the big 6. We turn up. When it comes to the minnows, not going to use Crystal Palace because Crystal Palace are on a bit of a revival under Vieira, and I'm loving the way that they're playing. But Burnley, Norwich, Watford coming up. They're banana skins for Wolves, and it's a nightmare.
Yeah.
And it shouldn't be that way. If we want to be in Europa League, if we want to be in Europa Conference, Europa League, and striving towards Champions League, etc., we have to be beating teams around us. And then this
is what worries me, because off the back of performance you had with Chelsea, I would think this should be easy for Wolves against Watford. But the way you guys have been so inconsistent, I'm like, it could go either way, really.
But again, the game against Chelsea, we were lucky. Jose Sarr pulled off how many saves against Chelsea? Yeah. We're conceding chances and we're having people bail us out. It wasn't they're not convincing performances. And obviously Chelsea's, the selection side of things surrounding Chelsea was also, you've got to put that under a microscope. If they have everyone available, is it, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Is it the same game?
Well, we'll come back. We'll come back to the score predictions there, but I mean that's a lot of insight into what's happening right now with Wolves. I mean, what's your just before we move on to the next game quickly, Sam? What is your aim for Wolves for this season? Where to finish in the league?
Top 15.
Top 15. Okay, that's not a
top
bad.
15.
Okay. On that note, talk about top 15 teams. Let's go to Tottenham. So, no, I'm joking, Ben. I'm joking. Tottenham versus Crystal Palace. Big game. London derby. There's a potential banana skin here for Spurs, for sure.
No. We need a revenge. Listen, we need to revenge, bro. Okay, Palace came to Spurs earlier on while we had Nuno, and they skinned us. We need to get revenge. All right? I'm not settling for anything less. Okay? We need revenge. We need 3 goals. We need clean sheet. All right. And we need to just walk out of there proud, because the way they turned us over last time round, you can't have it.
Vieira's doing an amazing job over there. Like, do you really think, because I personally think this is going to be a very difficult game. I think it's going to be a game of fine margins. I think it may be a goal in it to win it, but more likely heading towards a draw type of game. Do you guys agree, or do you think it'll be completely different? Let's go to Jules.
I think Elise scores. I think Gallagher scores. Jeez. I think Kane doesn't turn up.
Jeez.
I see Crystal Palace taking it. I think the draw against you with us will have you hawking in head high, thinking, we can get points off of Palace, and then they just drop you.
Listen, the only worry I have right now is the fact that the 3 centre backs we played against Liverpool did a great job, despite the 2 goals we conceded. And they're playing again today. So likelihood is they're going to be too tired to play. I don't know. I don't see them playing in this game. But if they did play, if we had the same lineup we had against Liverpool, easy. Easy. Minus Ali. Maybe minus
Easy?
Ali.
No, dude,
I
you're
don't know
getting
about
excited.
easy, but yeah.
Easy against Crystal Palace, a London derby. You think it's going to be easy?
No, I see. I can't. The reason why I think Palace wins it is because Palace are going to turn up. Like Gallagher will thrive in these kind of games. This is like a showcase season for him. He's here going, right, Chelsea, look what you've got. You know what I mean? And he's been performing for Palace. So I think this game he's just going to put another stamp on the marker. Go here, have
Yeah,
another
but
like
Palace have
wonder goal.
struggled
Look at what I'm
against
doing.
Palace have struggled against teams that have got a back three. They've struggled against that. You know what I mean? So that's why. Yeah, they've got
This
I think
is
Gallagher.
bad.
Yeah,
Vieira's developing. Vieira's developing as a manager, though. I think you know you can see the progression of Vieira tactically, and it's actually really refreshing to see. Like from game one to this point now, and what he's doing with Sam Gallagher is absolutely phenomenal. And I think you know Tuchel needs to be really looking at this guy and saying, right, this guy's starting for me next season.
He can't
You know?
though, because he's the same ilk as Mason Mount. Like they're the same player.
But
He
he
can't
has
sit
to.
and go. He can't sit and go. Oh, I'm gonna look at him. He has to sell
But
him.
it's the same as
And-
what City's doing. City have the likes of Foden, who have different players that are in the same ilk, but he rotates them. He uses all of them.
I hear that, but they're both of them are what 21. Like you can't. Well, no, Mason Mount's 21. I think Connor's
You know, he's
23.
older than 21. Mason Mount is,
So
I think,
he's
22.
23.
Jack Grealish and Phil Foden are around the same age.
Yeah.
You know, look. You know, City go and spend 100 million on Jack Grealish when they've got Phil Foden. It's all about rotation. It's all about rotation.
Or same position. They're not the same age. They're not the same age.
No, they're around the same age.
Okay.
But yeah,
Yeah,
I think yes, City get away with that. They've got players in rotation to cover the whole field, innit? It's not just this is our particular position. Especially the way Chelsea midfield works. You know, Kante is like a mainstay. You know, Kovacic is a mainstay. That one spot can't be vied between them two. Like, and then if that is the case, and they say, "Oh, move Mount left wing," then that just disrupts the whole forward line that they've got going on. I don't know. I think personally they're gonna have to sell him. But this is
why are we chatting about Chelsea anyway, man? Allow
I'm
Kadus
just
is
saying,
the team.
man.
Now,
one thing that was intriguing was, you know, what's his name, Dele Alli coming back into the frame. How do you feel about that, Ben? That he's actually back in the picture now.
I'm quite happy. Both Dele Alli and Ndombele. I was quite happy to see that Conte trusted them against such a big game, and I think they did okay for considering it's their first game back. I think they did okay. I think they showed Conte that they want to try. They want, but is it because they want to, hike up their price so they can go in January? Who knows? But I think it's more of a promotion to sell rather than a stay-in statement. So we'll see.
I think Winks was the one that had the game of his life, right? Winks played really.
Winks had a big game against Liverpool. Big game.
Shane here says Foden and Grealish got punished because of a night out with Kevin. Kevin equals. They did.
Man, like money, Kev.
Oh, 1-0 Vardy. The cup games are happening right now. So who is Leicester playing again? Was it Liverpool?
Yep.
So Liverpool losing 1-0.
This is a pre Premier League. Anyways, we're not going to talk about that.
Yeah. Okay, I mean, we'll get to the score predictions for this later because I'm very intrigued to see you guys' score predictions for the Spurs game. But a London derby on Boxing Day is always a good thing. Let's go to the last game that will preview Newcastle versus Manchester United. Like,
if you guys
with all the
make
changes that's happening right now, if we make it, exactly, because of COVID and everything, we don't know what's going to happen, but I think we will, because United, the players came back to training. I think the rule is right now, if you have 14 players, including your keeper, fit and available, you have to play. So, and definitely there was that type of number in the training sessions. So I think United game will go ahead unless something happens in the next few days. But as you guys know, there's been a lot of changes at United, manager changes, coaching changes as well. A new coach got revealed today, actually, announced today. So a lot of things happening at Man United. Do you guys see the progression that's happening in the short time that?
100%.
You guys do see it? Like, what do you see that's improved?
Your
Because as a United
fullbacks.
fan, sometimes it's difficult because we're in it and emotion gets in the way as well. But for you guys from the outside, what do you guys see is happening over there?
The press and the fullbacks for me personally. Also, I had to cut, but I wanted to get that out before anything. But yeah, the press and the fullbacks.
That's basically it. Yeah, the pressing is already started. I think you can see that he's working the fitness in your players
Yeah.
to press, and not just to press anyhow, but to press in a certain style and way that it's effective. You can already start seeing that. Obviously, it still needs a lot of work, and I still think it needs to be an understanding on the relationship as well a little bit. But you can already see a difference. But yeah.
The biggest thing for me for United is attitude. The attitude change in the players and the atmosphere that Ragnick seems to have installed. Anyone can go to a club and anyone can do it. You know, from grassroots level to Premier League. Any manager can take over and be like, right, I want to press this way, and you tactically drill it into players. What's been impressive is how the players have took that on. You know, and you've got players like CR7 pressing, Bruno Fernandes pressing, fullbacks pressing. That, you know, the whole team has took the philosophy of what Ragnick wants to do and is implementing it. And you don't necessarily see that when a new manager comes in terms of attitude and whatnot. Because, you know, the Watford game, sorry, OS, I know it was a painful game.
Yeah,
I loved it.
You look at the Watford game and you look at the players' attitude, the players' body language on the pitch. It was shocking. It was shocking. You know, people walking. You know, it should not happen on a football pitch. You don't see people walking on a football. You know, you haven't seen a person walk really in a Man United fixture since Ragnick has took over, because he won't stand it.
You're right.
He won't stand it. You know. I think he's an absolute massive win. Whether or not long term he stays, or if you get, you know, if you get the Ajax guy, but for certainly, I personally now, Man U are top four for me under Ragnick. I think Man U break into top four under Ragnick.
Wow. I mean, you mentioned something really interesting because you said attitude. And I noticed that straight away, not just with the players. I'm talking about the attitude just coming from him. You know, one example, Pogba, the situation with Pogba. Every manager, Solskjaer, the guy before Solskjaer, anytime they get asked questions about Pogba, you know, they basically beat around the bush answering the question. Whereas this guy said, yo, if this player doesn't want to be at the club, he can leave. No player is bigger than the club. You know, and I love that. You know, no player should be holding the club to ransom. And that's what's been happening recently. And I still don't know if I want him long-term as a manager. That's a big risk. Let's see how he does in the short term. But for me, the big win here is that he goes into the club and sorts out the football structure within the club. I think that's where we win completely.
I think either way you win, because he's got that consultancy role locked up regardless.
Yeah.
So, you know, I mean, I think you win regardless. You know, you've got him now. He's going to steady the ship. He's going to implement certain things that are going to help Man United get back to where they should be.
Yeah.
Because, you know, there's no skirting around it. You know, Manchester United are one of the biggest footballing clubs in the world. You know, everyone knows Manchester United. There's no two ways about it, regardless of how you feel and regardless of your bias. And where they are currently, or where they were, wasn't good enough. You know, Ragnick is going to take you and move you back to where you should be. Now, whether or not long term, or if he just stays behind the scene as a consultancy role and you get another manager in, fine. I think you're going to work. I think it's going to work wonders, and you're going to see the best out of certain players, providing obviously they get game time, specifically Mason Greenwood. I think, I mean, everyone knows how highly I rate Mason Greenwood.
I mean, that's everything you just said there. That was a great outlook on things for sure. Let's just quickly go to some of the comments here before we go to score predictions. Brooke says, oh, hello, Brooke, first of all. He says, Arsenal are doing bits this season. We will make the Europa Conference League. Don't get it twisted. Brooke, are you Arteta in finally? No.
Yeah, he is, bruv. Check that out.
No.
Man is Arteta in.
Okay. Shane says, Semp with the elite football knowledge reminds me of DEBO when he's on it. They're like twins. Why does he remind you of DEBO?
DEBO has never had an elite thought in his life when it comes to football.
Arteta in. Brooks, you asked as well. Okay, let's see what Brooks says. For now, yeah, he should have gone a long time ago, though.
Cheers!
It's a good point. But I mean, we have to give it to Arteta as well, because Arteta is doing well. You can see the fruits of his work coming to fruition right now. All of these signings as well are doing well. We have to put our hands up to them.
Hold out, Martin Odegaard.
I asked Brooke, is Nketiah staying or what? I want to know if Nketiah is staying.
You should do after that hat trick.
And then, exactly, I'll return when William scores the first half hat trick for us. Okay, so he's not returning. All right, let's go to score predictions, guys. Make sure you subscribe, you like, you follow all of our social media platforms. On that, score predictions. First game, Liverpool versus Leeds. What are you saying, Ben?
Easy. But then Liverpool getting tucked right now. 2-0 Liverpool.
2-0 Liverpool, fair enough. Jules, what are you saying?
3-1, Paul.
Okay, Semp, what are you saying?
5-0 Paul.
Damn.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna go 5-0 as well. I don't think they're gonna score, and I think Liverpool are gonna have a field day that game. Let's go to the next game, Wolves versus Watford. What are you saying, Ben?
I think this would be a draw, 1-1.
What are you saying, Jules?
I'm gonna have to agree with Ben, 1-1.
Okay, and what are you saying, Semp?
I think, truthfully, non-biased aside, I think we're going to lose 1-0.
Wow.
I think 1-0. I think 1-0 Watford.
Right, you have no faith in your team.
No, it's better as a Wolves fan. You have to lower your expectations so you're not disappointed.
Okay.
Disappointment, you can be pleasantly
I
surprised.
think Wolves will win. I think it'll be either 1-0 or 2-1. But I think it'll be one goal. I think it'll be tight. You're at home as well, so I think your fans are going to really egg you on. I think you'll.
2-0 Leicester.
I don't know if we're going to allow fans. The West Midlands here seem to be sort of not necessarily coming away from like the government restrictions, but I've heard some things surrounding going up to Molyneux that them fans may not be allowed at Molyneux this week.
Oh wow, that would suck. If fans go out, then it becomes whatever. Then anybody can take it.
Yeah.
Tottenham versus Crystal Palace. What are you saying, Ben?
3-0 Spurs.
Whoa, you are on
straight up
cloud 9, right? Okay, cool. Jules, what are you saying?
2-1 Palace.
Wow, what are you saying, Sam?
I think it's going to be a repeat of the Liverpool game, 2-2 draw.
I thought I was going to say the same thing. I was going to say 1-1 though. I think it's going to be 1-1 just because Crystal Palace have got a good defense. I think it'll be 1-1. Next game, Newcastle versus Manchester United. What are you saying, Ben?
Easy for United. 2-0.
2-0.
Probably more.
Jules, what are you saying?
I'll say 2-0 to be fair.
Sam?
I'm going 5. Newcastle are even with Eddie Howe, Newcastle defensively are shocking. I'm going 5.
Away at St James Park with their fans?
Yeah, 5-0. You know.
Wow, Shane says 6-0. Jeez, I'm gonna say 3. I think we have Varane back. I'm gonna say 3-0. We have Varane back. So
you actually have Varane back.
Yeah. So if he plays, it's 3-0. He was training. Yeah, he's back. So that's good. Great news for us. Let's just quickly do 2 more games since they're Norwich versus Arsenal. What do you think, Ben?
Easy for Arsenal. 3-0.
Okay.
Actually, 3-1. Arsenal a bit shaky defensively.
See, yeah, he took. I was gonna say 3-1 because I think Peaky might get one in.
Yeah,
he's been close recently. So
no, I don't think Norwich.
What are you saying,
Norwich have had so many chances. Look at the chances that they missed against United. You know, they were the better side against United. Do you know what I mean? So I'm saying 3-0. I'm saying 3-0 shutout.
Okay, I'm going to say 2-0 as
3-2.
well. I don't think they'll be able to score goals. I'll say 2-0. And then last game we're going to do is Aston Villa versus Chelsea. Jules, what are you saying? It's going to be a tough game, this one. I'm not even going to lie.
Yeah. Aston Villa.
Jules, what are you saying?
I don't know.
Gerrard is doing bits though. Let's not be.
He
let's
is,
not-
but their front line isn't really scoring like that though. Recently, like
Okay, while you're thinking, I'll go
okay,
to
no,
that
okay.
and
No,
then-
if it's a quick thing, 2-1 Chelsea.
Yeah. 2-1 Chelsea. What are you saying?
Jules, you need to have a word with your boy DEBO, because you didn't even know that your biggest club legend actually got a managerial position in the Premier
Exactly.
League. So you need to have a word with your boy DEBO.
Exactly.
We discussed
Shocking.
this already. DEBO's a United fan.
Shocking.
And he didn't get removed.
Don't bring DEBO over to this side. Don't bring DEBO over to this
DEBO's a
side.
United fan. We discussed this.
Ben, what are you saying?
I think it'll be 2-1 Villa, man. I think Villa will
Wow.
go in.
Oh,
Ben, what are you saying?
I'm saying 2-1 Chelsea.
I think this will be 2-2. I have a feeling 2-2 draw. Okay. Well, that's all we have time for today's show. Let's just quickly comments. Some of the results we're seeing. Shane says Spurs 2-2. Shane says 6-0 United. He says 3-2 Arsenal. So he thinks it's going to be a goal fest in that game. 1-0 Villa. He thinks Villa are going to take
interesting.
Chelsea. With Chelsea, wow, with a red card. Jeez, that was.
Who would get sent off?
More. You don't get more specific than that. You know what I mean?
Lukaku
So
gets sent
for
off.
that.
He'll come on and get sent off, bro.
Well, everyone, thank you so much for joining us for today's show. We'll be back for the previews of next week's show as well. So keep an eye out for that video. Thank you.
Bamba clat.
He's gone.
You really left. Hey,
To the
safe everyone. It's